Researching for this video, I wanted to check if anybody had made a video similar to what I wanted to talk about, and I came across this video entitled, "Never Call People Sluts." In the video, the girls talk about how damaging it could be to be called a slut, as well as mentioning how you can be called a slut for no reason. Then, in a video titled, "Never Call People Sluts," you get this.
I know another girl who has had sex literally like one different guy each week. That is a slut. I'm not going to say her name because that's a bit rude. But that is a slut. The fact that I would...
So, slut is a demeaning word, but if you're promiscuous, you deserve the abuse. This video in a nutshell expresses the majority view of society, which says that calling women sluts is bad, except for certain cases, which it is justified. The use of the word slut is not only harmful to women, but it is also sexist because there is no male equivalent. In fact, it shouldn't be used at all because it demonizes female promiscuity. Now, side note, this isn't to say that these people still maintain this view. I mean, this video was published in 2013, so, you know, I'm not attacking them. Anyways, back to the video. Now you might say that F-boy means the same thing as slut. At least since 2014, it's been used the same way slut as for boys, you might say. Well, even if it is an equivalent, which it isn't, it still doesn't solve the underlying problem. That underlying problem being that of a stigma against sexual promiscuity, especially that of women. As a side note, from watching videos, it seems that F-boys is simply anybody who rejected you emotionally, or is a liar, or isn't the one. But nobody outright says that F-boy is a male equivalent for slut. This new word for men, F-boy, also doesn't dissuade men from being promiscuous as it does for women. There are several male figures in popular culture, not to mention a whole pickup community that view men who sleep with many women as a good thing. There's James Bond and the Entourage and so on that men aspire to be like. In a nutshell, for men, being promiscuous isn't necessarily bad, but cool. When for women, it's terrible. Now on to why F-boy isn't the same as slut, or whore, or skank, or whatever derogatory term you might use. The answer is simple. The word F-boy isn't part of an overarching, unequal, oppressing power dynamic such as Orientalism, patriarchy, and sexism are. I'll explain in more detail with examples. Here are a few. Example number 1. There weren't any F-boy burnings. There were witch burnings, where women were burned. Scarlet Letter isn't about an F-boy. In the Chronicle of a Death Foretold, it's not two twin sisters who go to kill the woman who took their brother's virginity before marriage. When a guy gets raped, nobody blames the guy getting raped. Finally, men are taking advantage of the positions of power in Hollywood, not the other way around. And I think that's it for examples. Now, back to my main argument. The word slut has huge negative impacts on women's health and well-being. For example, women who tend to deviate from traditional gender roles that discourage women from showing interest in sex risk censure and ostracism from both male and female observers, as shown in these studies. In fact, slut-shaming, as you may know, is a form of bullying which has been shown to cause PTSD, according to these studies. In many cases, being called a slut, even though you quote-unquote aren't a slut, can have disastrous consequences, such as when Jessica Logan had texted a nude photo to her boyfriend, and when they broke up, he forwarded it to some friends who then disseminated it to additional students. Jessica then endured weeks of harassment, being called a slut and a skank, and then ended up killing herself. Much like with Jessica Logan, people tend to blame the victim when they are perceived to have made themselves targets, such as in this study, slut-shaming in a school bullying case. Evaluators ignore level of harm when the victim self-presents as sexually available, So they found that people who, as it says, presented themselves as sexually available rather than traditionally not saying anything were perceived as at fault for their abuse. Anyways, this is terrible. And overall, slut is a sexist word that shouldn't be used under any circumstance due to its significance and effective well-being and quality of life on women and its impact on those. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like videos similar to this. Thanks.